That show y'all that Mary was just out there wilding and out there having a ball.
Because he was a huge inspiration. When I came in the game, I didn't like myself. I didn't want success. I was afraid of it. But watching him, he wanted it so bad, and he was it.
With the recent progress in Diddy's trail, people are assuming that every name linked to him is going to be exposed. And now, every eye is on Mary J. Blige.
So, guys, we're going to talk about Mary J. Blige. You know, she had came out of her interview yesterday and said that when she used to attend the freak parties, she said that it was her rite of passage.
She has been in the game since day one, right alongside Diddy. From Bad Boy's golden era to the murky waters of industry secrets, Mary has seen it all.
So I had to fight in my prayer time in the morning with that same kind of fight.
And let's just say, these weren't your average parties. We've heard the stories about satanic rituals, dark dealings, and a lifestyle straight out of a nightmare. But Mary, being the witness of everything, makes the court suspicious of her. So let's get into it. Diddy is fighting for his life. With multiple lawsuits, federal raids, and career freefall in real time, he's basically cornered. And guess what people do when they're desperate? They start singing like canaries. Sources inside the courtroom are saying Diddy is doing everything to avoid jail time. We're talking backdoor deals, witness intimidation allegations, and now, straight-up name-dropping.
The indictment alleges that on more than one occasion, Combs carried or brandished firearms, intimidate and threaten victims and witnesses.
And Cassie has reappeared on the scene. Even though she already got her check from that civil case, she made a low-key courtroom appearance and reportedly named names. Not just assistants or anonymous handlers, but actual A-list celebrities who were allegedly part of Diddy's freak-off culture. And guess whose name came up? Mary J. Blige. Now, we've heard the whispers for years. Industry parties, secret invites, locked phones, VIP-only freak-offs. But Mary's name was always on the fringe. Rumors would pop up, then disappear, faster than Diddy's exes. She kept it cute, classy, and mysterious.
So the same question all over and over again. I hate that.
So what's the one question that nobody has asked you that you want them to ask?
I don't want them to ask me anything.
Ah.
So don't ask me.
Oh, okay. So you'd rather not do the interview at all.
But this trial, it's tearing the curtain all the way down. Allegedly, Cassie mentioned a handful of insiders who weren't just attendees, but regular fixtures at these events. And one name on that known faces list, Mary J. Blige. Insiders are saying she was not just present, but may have helped facilitate some of the freak-off events, or at least turned a blind eye to what was happening. If true, that's a major blow to her carefully protected survivor image.
For Jodeci tonight, Mary J. Blige and Father MC.
Mary J. Blige and Diddy weren't just industry acquaintances. They were like family, or so it seemed. Their relationship wasn't just professional, it was deeply personal. Diddy didn't just sign Mary. He championed her during the early days of her career, giving her the platform to become the queen of hip-hop soul. From Uptown Records to Bad Boy Entertainment, their connection looked unbreakable. To the public, they were a dream team. Blige's raw, emotional storytelling, paired with Diddy's knack for production, created a synergy that was unstoppable.
And they living off of your money? How don't that piss you off? How didn't that damn Lifetime Achievement Award piss you?
It might have turned out to be a blessing in disguise that Mary J. didn't sign with Diddy's Bad Boy. But that doesn't mean she was completely free from any issues with Diddy. There have been allegations suggesting that when Mary J. and Diddy were together, she went through some tough times. Mary J. hinted at this on her Amazon documentary, mentioning that there are things she's been through that she'll never reveal. Many people speculate that it's likely connected to her experiences with Diddy. Mary J. and Diddy seem to have a close relationship, with Diddy even stating earlier in 2023 that Mary J. Blige is one of the greatest storytellers in R&B history, Combs tells People. She created a lane for women around the world to speak their truth to power, so nobody deserves this success more than her. On her part, Mary J. also talks about Diddy being her bestie and mentor. However, there's speculation about whether all of that is just a cover-up for what she went through during her time with Diddy. Given Diddy's reputation for being manipulative, some people believe that the seemingly affectionate relationship between Mary J. and Diddy might just be a mask for the challenges she faced. In a revealing interview with Rolling Stone, Blige disclosed that Diddy was not only unfaithful during their romantic involvement, but also took credit for her work and manipulated her into signing unfavorable contracts. Blige shared that, back when Diddy was known as Puff Daddy, he lured her in with charm and charisma. When she was a young and naive artist, he made promises to elevate her into stardom and shield her from the industry's pitfalls, but instead, he exploited her for financial gain and engaged in infidelity with multiple women.
I didn't know that so many people felt the same way.
She made it okay for people to say it's all right to be.
Blige shared that her realization came when she discovered Diddy had fathered a child with another woman in 1998. Confronting him, she demanded to end both their personal and professional relationship, but he refused to let her go. He begged me to stay with him. He said he loved me and he would change. He said he needed me and he couldn't do it without me. He said he would give me everything I deserved, Blige recounted. But it was all lies. He didn't want to lose me because I was his golden goose. I was making him millions of dollars. I was his ticket to fame and fortune. Blige recounted her struggle to break free from Diddy's grip, revealing that he made it incredibly challenging for her. She claimed he threatened to sue her, blacklist her, tarnish her reputation, and even physically harm her if she tried to leave him. He was a powerful man in the industry. He had connections everywhere. He had lawyers, bodyguards, hitmen. He had people who would do anything for him. Blige shared. He told me that if I ever left him, he would make sure I never worked again. He told me that if I ever spoke out against him, he would make sure I never lived again. As Diddy's empire grew, so did the whispers of what really went down at his infamous parties. Insiders started spilling tea about events that weren't your typical VIP after-parties but hedonistic playgrounds for the ultra-rich and powerful. And that's what his former bodyguard said.
It was the mayor and the politicians in New York City. They turn around and give him the key to the city.
It wasn't just the usual booze and blunts. Diddy's gatherings became notorious for their anything-goes vibe, where the boundaries of morality and decency blurred. There were rumors of underground rooms, areas off-limits to outsiders, where things allegedly got even darker. Some say Diddy cultivated these spaces as a way to wield power over others, inviting guests into depraved activities and keeping those secrets as leverage. Attendees reportedly ranged from A-list celebrities to shadowy businessmen, with many saying the atmosphere felt like more than just a wild party. It was an initiation.
And not that devil we've been worshiping. That those people got him believing, you understand?
Mary was there for a lot of these moments, and while she was no stranger to a good time, even she was said to be caught off guard by how far things went. Imagine standing in a room filled with high-profile names. Actors, rappers, politicians, all losing control under the influence. The stories include extreme drug use and strange rituals that some attendees described as bordering on the occult. It's been said that what started as parties eventually evolved into something darker, more twisted, almost like the attendees weren't just celebrating, but conforming to an unwritten code. At first, Mary may have brushed off the excess as part of the lifestyle. After all, the music industry is no convent. But over time, she allegedly started to see things that deeply disturbed her. Some sources claim that as Diddy's wealth and power increased, so did his need for control. Guests who didn't play along, those who didn't participate or keep quiet about what they saw, were blacklisted or pressured into silence.
So he only gives it to those he knows is going to share.
Rumors began swirling that Diddy wasn't just a charismatic businessman, but someone who thrived on manipulation and control. Mary was no exception. She saw things she likely never expected when she first entered the industry, and the realization shook her to the core. Some sources suggest that these events played a role in her personal struggles, exacerbating her battles with addiction.
You reach a point where it's like nobody loves.
But things took a turn for the worse during this time in her life. Sources close to her suggest that witnessing the chaos at Diddy's events didn't help her situation. It only added fuel to the fire. At some point, Mary reached a breaking point. She realized that if she stayed any longer in that environment, it would destroy her. It's long been rumored that Mary was in the know, whether she participated or not, and some say she benefited from staying quiet. You can call it survival, or you can call it compliance. And let's be real, those private invite-only after-parties weren't exactly church retreats. Anyone who's been around long enough in the industry knows about freak-off culture. The guest lists were tight, phones off, cameras banned. Some guests weren't even there by full consent, allegedly. Now the court is digging into who was really part of those circles. Diddy's trial is just getting started, and the courtroom tea is scalding hot. More names are expected to come out in the coming weeks, and some of them will shock you. Trust, this is no longer just about one man's crimes. It's about the industry culture he built, the enablers who protected it, and the legends who might have known more than they ever let on. And Mary, she might have thought she was untouchable, but now, the queen is on the chessboard, and checkmate might be coming. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.